it's Rich Tehrani with TMCnet. Thanks for watching. We're out here doing a roadshow slash Editors Week in Silicon Valley. It's 2016, November to be exact, the week before Thanksgiving to be even more exact. And John Macario is with us. He's with Edgewater Networks. We're excited to have him. John, welcome back. You were here with us last year, right?
That's right.
And so for those people who may not be familiar with you, I mean, I bet a lot of people out there have boxes with your logo on them in their closet. They may or may not know. So tell us what it is.
That's exactly right. We have, I would say, well over 500,000 devices deployed today, and very few people know who they are except the service provider community, who are our real customers. We're there to enable real-time communication services with our network edge orchestration platform.
Great. And give us a little more in terms of what your company does to solve problems for customers.
So network edge orchestration is a hybrid cloud edge approach to service quality management. We work with service providers of all shapes and sizes, some of the biggest names in the world, large global carriers, down to very small regional carriers sitting in western New Mexico, places like that. Network edge orchestration allows them to provision hosted PBX, IP communications, unified communication services more quickly and efficiently with zero-touch provisioning. And after that service comes up, we provide real-time service quality management so that if one of their customers is having an issue with garbled voice, bad video, what have you, they can diagnose that remotely, remediate it remotely. Service provider community loves us. One, we save them OpEx as they're bringing a customer up, right? Zero-touch provisioning, you plug it in, it reaches back to our cloud service control center, gets its configuration, gets its licensing, we're up and running, and that customer comes up fast, right? And it's important, Rich. You know, this SMB market for IP communications is just exploding.
Sure.
Right? You and I have been around this market for a long time, and it was, next year it's coming, next year it's coming. Well, we're beyond next year. We're well into the deployment phase for IP communications in SMB. Our service provider customers are taking advantage of that and scaling, and the benefits reaching us. We're scaling and growing rapidly too. But when you're scaling that fast, you simply can't go to your CFO and say, hey, we want to acquire 3 times as many customers next year. I need 3 times as many field services techs to go out and do it. It's never going to happen. You have to be more efficient. Network edge orchestration enables that efficiency. And then on the back end, once that customer is up, you can't start rolling trucks and incurring lots of costs to go resolve a customer problem on-prem when you can do it remotely. Network edge orchestration provides both a WAN side and a LAN side view into every IP communications deployment that a service provider has.
That's great. Now, are there any new things that are happening recently?
Tons of new things, and I'd characterize it in a couple of ways. You know, one is ecosystem. Interop has always been a mantra of ours. Right? We know that we're a part of a service, right? We're not the whole service.
Sure.
So on the back end, we always made sure we're interoperating with BroadSoft, with Metaswitch, with GenBand. On the IP endpoint side, Polycom, Yealink, Panasonic, right? All the phone and IP video vendors, Logitech now, with their new video solutions. IP PBXs, we certify 50 or so IP PBXs against all of these trunks from the different switch vendors with a whole set of endpoints, right? So it's big. But this year, it's been about broader ecosystem partnerships for us. We've just gotten certification on Broad Cloud for UC1 and all of the Broad Cloud services. Really excited about that. Again, a mechanism for service providers to scale. We want to be a part of it. We've just done interop with BlueJeans, the over-the-top video provider, providing service quality management in enterprise video deployments. Very excited about that. Microsoft Skype for Business certification coming. So I think you can see this ecosystem that we're playing in now gets bigger and bigger. 2 is on the technology side. We've got some really interesting things coming out in the SD-WAN space and a few other areas that service providers are looking at as an opportunity to monetize above IP communications, unified communications, right? It's always about how do we raise the ARPU? Well, we're putting ourselves in a position to enable them to get that revenue up. And then finally, for us, it's about new business models. Right? we've all been accustomed, both as consumers and business people, of consuming pay-as-you-grow type services. Traditionally, in our space, it's been, hey, here's a device, here's how I'm going to license it, I'm going to pay you some CapEx dollars for that, and I'll pay you some support and maintenance, right? We sell software, we sell hardware, and traditionally that's been the buying model. In order to enable this really explosive growth in the IP communications market and this mass adoption, we're introducing a new business model called Cloud to Edge Complete that really becomes a subscription type service that does several things. One, reduce the CapEx burden, which is important to a lot of our customers. Two, gives you this kind of pay-as-you-grow model. And three, we're doing something I think is absolutely unique in the premise-based component of IP communications, and that is offering our service providers pooled call licenses that can be spread across all of their deployments, and they'll pay on a monthly recurring basis for peak concurrent calls that they're using. The example I often use with this is we have plenty of service providers who operate across 4 time zones, 8 time zones, right? When the office in London is shutting down for the day, the concurrent call licenses that at one time were stranded on a device in London can now be migrated, so people in their customers in New York can use them, follow the sun model. And this is clearly not a unique idea. I think it's a unique application of this consumption model.
Oh, agreed. Wow, there's a lot going on. How big is the company?
So we're about 150 people now. As I said earlier, we're absolutely taking advantage of this explosive growth. We've doubled our revenue in the last 2 years. We see 40 to 45% growth coming in 2017 and beyond, expanding into Europe, expanding into CALA, doing a lot of really interesting things.
That's great. So anything else we should know?
I think those are the main messages, and I would say for the audience, for the people in the service provider community, in the channel, network edge orchestration from Edgewater Networks is going to help you be faster, more efficient, drive better economics, and drive new services revenue for you.
That's great. And how do people find you?
www.edgewaternetworks.com. Come over.
Fantastic.
We're doing an awful lot of blogging and talking about topics that are really relevant: SIP security, growth of unified communications. I think you'll find a ton of interesting content on our site that we hope to be sharing on your sites as well.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Ray.